I'm super excited today that I am going to be taking a tour of our Sequoia Grove Library. Since it's not open to families, you can't actually go see what it looks like, though you can see everything that's in it online. But that's so hard sometimes for us to get our heads around. So today I'm going to take a audio tour around the library and hope that this will really help you get your heads around what is available there, because there's so much great stuff, so many ways that you can save your funds for activities and other things by borrowing curriculum and resources from the library. So stay tuned and listen in as I tour our Sequoia Grove Library with the librarian, Chris Hermann. Welcome, listeners, to the Sequoia Breeze podcast, a breath of fresh air for your homeschool. As always, I am your host, Rebecca Lasavio, and I'm so excited to get season 4 kicked off. Thank you for joining us today. I am with Chris Hermann, who is the head librarian. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I'm the library coordinator here with Sequoia Grove.
Okay, so we are at the Sequoia Grove Library in Sacramento, where when you go online and reserve a book to be brought to you on the Lending Library van, this is where the books are stored and pulled, not just books, but materials and so many other things. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm really excited to be here, Chris. I hope that by the end of this, listeners, you have a mental picture of where we are and what's going on. Because I know for some people, the lending library is kind of this nebulous thing that it's a little hard to understand what's available. So we're going to cover that today and walk through and tell you more about it. So Chris, why don't you tell me a little bit about your job?
Oh, totally. So a little bit of what I do is I oversee the library services department. I make sure that our calendars are correct. We're going to all the necessary park days, looking into potentially adding on either new ones or assessing how those are going. I also make sure product is moved in and out of here as quickly and efficiently as possible. I also help oversee at the Clarksville Center. So a little bit of everything that you guys see at park days, what you may see at the center.
Overseeing, like, pulling the books to send on the library vans, the receiving of the things that have been returned, checking in and registering all the materials that families turn in that they don't need anymore or as they leave, and all of those many details. Yes?
Oh, yes. A lot of the back end kind of stuff is usually what I oversee.
Okay, awesome. And in a pinch, I've seen you drive the vans too. All right. So we are standing right at the door of kind of where the library begins. And this room that a couple months ago I was here and was sort of open and full of boxes is now full of big shelves. So you guys have done a lot of work this summer, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. We're definitely gearing up for probably one of our biggest years yet.
Okay.
So we're very excited.
So this is the fiction room. And just walking through here, it's really easy for me to get all distracted. Like right inside the door is, what is this? The Fablehaven series. And I can see a beautiful copy of Wind in the Willows and all kinds of, I don't even know. There's just everything. It's really easy to spot the books that are part of Book Shark sets because there's lots of them, aren't there?
Oh, yeah.
So many of them. So I can walk around and spot really fast which books are part of that because there's maybe 12 to 15 copies of most of those. But since we brought up Book Shark, You've told me before you also have boxes of Book Shark set aside, correct?
Oh, yeah. So we actually have some collections of Book Shark. Actually, would you like me to show you?
Sure. Let's go. Ooh, what a pretty copy of Island of the Blue Dolphins, beginning readers, all the Laura Ingalls Wilder books. Oh, okay. So here are, I don't know, 14 boxes maybe of readers and read alouds that go with Book Shark. And they're pre-packaged, yes?
Oh
Ooh,
yeah.
listen to
So
that box open.
so all of these come with like a helpful little list, letting you know what goes into each kit.
Okay.
The one that we just pulled out is the Bookshark Read Aloud Kit Level G. These will come with anything that went along with that read aloud set. We do also have separate, I believe they were readers. The read alouds are meant more for the parent to read aloud to their child, and the readers are more for the child to kind of take on more of an independent approach.
Mm-hmm.
So these are available to rent. We do have more of the later levels than the earlier levels.
Oh, okay.
But we are looking into
You have a lot of D and E, don't you?
oh, a lot of D and E, and then I believe H is all over there. I think H is probably our second biggest one for that one.
Really? Okay. And so parents, Bookshark is a really expensive curriculum to order. So if it's something that you're interested in, you can get it from the library and save $400 to $600, maybe even $900 on using funds for curriculum, and save those things for field trips and lessons and activities and things like that. And you guys have just got it all set up, plus individual books if you want just parts of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So let's go back out here to the fiction room. And I mean, just so many shelves. I don't even know how to help people understand the scope of what all is here. Richard Scarry books and Harry Potter books and what is this? Percy Jackson, and just all kinds of stuff. What are a couple of the sort of, Bob books, lots and lots of the beginner Bob books. So something that you don't need for very long. So you could definitely borrow that. And some people have ordered in the past, clearly, not just like a copy of The Hobbit, but the pretty hardcover. There's some really beautiful books in here that I just kind of want to grab a beanbag and sit down. So, what is there anything in here that you have like so many copies you really want parents to know about?
Oh, I mean, I would definitely be pointing back to a lot of our Bookshark extra
Okay.
copies. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of Witch of Black Pond, anything that really kind of go along with those kits. Johnny Tremaine is another large
Mm-hmm.
one. So we have quite a lot there to get you started if you're taking Bookshark. Again, we also have a bunch of Harry Potter if anyone's interested in more of like a series base.
It looks like you have some of the graphic novels as well, like Dork Diaries, and don't you have a bunch of some of Captain Underpants and Magic Treehouse for Days? There's What Should Danny Do? And my boys love those books. Carry On, Mr. Bowditch. I made a really big impression on me when I read it with my kids. Lots of copies of that because that's one of those Bookshark books.
Yeah, definitely a lot of Magic Treehouse as well.
Okay, Marguerite Henry books. Okay, Dogman and Captain Underpants and lots of those kind of early reader graphic novel stuff as kids are trying to learn to get through all those books. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we definitely have a lot of novels, early readers for students grades like pre-K through fourth. If you're just trying to get them excited about reading, those ones are great.
What are these?
So these are Usborne graphic novels. They're based off of classic literature.
Huh.
The one that you're currently holding, the Hound of the Baskervilles, is one we see kind of go out pretty often.
Okay, so Sherlock Holmes, The Hound of the Baskervilles, put to in graphic novel form so kids can learn the stories. Sorry, messing up here. Beautifully organized shelves. So what's through this door over here?
Oh, so over
Off
here
to the right.
this is where we store all of our games, all of our educational materials, and now conveniently labeled. Ta-da!
Wow, that's a lot of microscopes, telescopes, and rock tumblers.
Oh, yeah.
A whole shelf full of, and yeah, telescopes. Okay, lots of those. Lots of circuit mazes and learning resources games and gravity mazes, magnetic letter tiles, Scrabble. Okay, here we've got games, Catan and Ticket to Ride. Charades for kids. Guess Who? What's all that? Oh, the fancy Legos.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to take a look at some?
Oh, yes.
Ooh, we got some
Well,
London over
guess what I'm
here.
going to be borrowing? Okay, so these are like fancy Lego sets that kids can put together and then take back apart and return to the library, and somebody else can put them together. So the White House, a London skyscape, a space station, San Francisco, Tokyo, Dubai, all kinds of stuff. Whoa, that's a big box.
Yeah, isn't this one so?
The Great Pyramid of Giza in Lego form. There you go, parents. Ooh. So the trick is, though, keeping all those pieces together. And behind me, I've got all of the math games. So addition machine, subtraction, division, all that. Time bingo, lots of manipulatives. The allowance game, all kinds of, I can't even, maybe I'll take a picture and post it of all this stuff before we leave. It just continues with lots more games, word games, and I see instruments.
Oh, yeah. So if you're looking for keyboards for your kiddo, guitars, we have a bunch of ukuleles, desk bells, xylophones, truly anything you can think of. Definitely be sure to check our
Violins
database.
and
I believe all of our violins, that one was a pretty popular one this
Okay.
year. We have one left currently.
Okay. All right, and drums.
We have, I believe we had one drum.
Okay.
And that one quickly found a home.
Okay. But there are still lots of instruments to be had. Definitely guitars and keyboards, yeah?
Oh, for sure. And we also have extra sound systems if you're doing electric guitar. And over here we have some fun PE equipment if you're trying to do some more PE-based courses.
An electronic jump rope.
That's so cool.
There's lots of several toy cash registers and sewing machines. And are these all sewing machines down here?
Oh, so over here, this is more of like our overflow shelf. We have some tripods in there, cameras in there. Most of our sewing machines we definitely moved right over there to give them a little bit more space.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, and I see one of those Instax. Is that how you say that?
Oh, yeah, the Polaroids.
The new Polaroid cameras. There are pottery wheels and anatomy tools, games, figures, things. Something labeled squishy human body. A GoPro. A candle making kit. I mean, art stuff, it just keeps going. So many ways to stretch funds. And as we come over here, there's robots and coding things, building blocks and science. Oh, this is more science-y stuff, and more math games and manipulatives. That's a lot of green boxes. Tell me about all those green boxes.
Oh, yeah. If you're using Math-U-See this year, please be sure to check out our math manipulative kits. These ones up here, I believe, are our Math-U-See integer block kits. Another popular one is our Math-U-See algebra decimal insert kit and our fraction overlay. So if you're using Math-U-See, we are fully stocked with every textbook of every grade offered, the manipulatives, as well as DVDs. So
another great way to save funds, instead of ordering Math-U-See, you can get it from the library and maybe only have to buy a couple of consumable things.
Yeah. Oh, these are the balance kits or the balance sets. So these ones, they have different weights, just to kind of get you used to being like, oh, this is 10 grams, this is 1 gram, and getting more of a visual to kind of either balance it out.
That's interesting. I've never seen that before. All right, so that's a room chock full of tools and manipulatives and all kinds of stuff. And Then we go back through the fiction room. And there's the Beverly Cleary shelf and the Andrew Clement shelf. So what's in here?
Oh, so this is our history department. Over here, we'll have things ranging from early history to more Egyptian history, American history. If you're looking for anything regarding biographies of famous people, you'll definitely find them within this room.
Perfect. So I see a lot of like DK books. I imagine there's piles of Usborne books in here, things about very ancient Rome and American history and some of Lewis and Clark. I bet that's a Bookshark book right there because there's lots of them, as well as some history, more textbooks and geography, all kinds of interesting things. Tell us about these shelves.
Oh, so these are for our story of the world. We have from the beginning all the way up to volume 4. We have the textbooks available for rent, the audiobook CD versions of it available for rent, as well as the activity books. So it's pretty much a complete set from 1 to 4 available for you to use.
And these are stacked double on the shelves.
They sure are.
Lots and lots of those. And how about all of those? What are all of those CDs back there?
Oh, so all of those, they're kind of broken down into, we have one column set for storytime CDs. I do have a couple Magic Treehouse, so if you're reading those with your kiddo and you want to kind of follow along to a nice audiobook, we have those available for rent. All of our CDs, if you do not have a CD player, we do have some CD players available for rent as well, which you can go ahead grab up as soon as we open up for rentals starting August 1st, and you can pick them up as soon as we start our van pickup days on the 14th.
And what are all of these? Oh, teaching textbooks and
there they are.
Matthew C. As well as the Inquisikid Discover and Do Science DVDs that come with Bookshark Science. But the Matthew C DVDs are stacked not just double, but then on top of each other going up. So by all means, or borrow the Matthew C DVDs. So there's plenty in there. All right, so we're going to leave the history room and go back into the fiction room and then turn back into another room. And what have we? Globes. That's what we have here is globes. A lot of globes. What else is in this room?
Oh, so in here we have books on the human body, books on technology. We have items on cooking, artwork. We have a couple more comic books that live in here as well. And we also have poetry and some literature items in here as well.
And metronomes.
Oh, yeah, we got 2 really cool metronomes.
And here is a child's introduction to poetry book that we used at our house. And I loved that book. It was a brief introduction to all kinds of poems, and they were all like really fun ones. And there's, all kinds of, piano books. There's several different like piano lesson books. And I mean, name the type of globe you want to see. It's here. Oh, how to play the trumpet. More piano book sets, all bagged up together and ready to go. These are like starting up your own business books, like entrepreneurial things. Is that what's going on over here?
Oh, yeah. So it kind of goes from home ec into personal growth, some things if you're trying to do some more entrepreneurial type courses. We do have some books on those. That's typically what's comprising of this shelf here.
So I just saw a book called Have a New Kid by Friday, and that made me wonder, do you also have books for the parents, and learning coaches, like some of the books about homeschooling and that sort of thing?
Oh, totally. We do have some self-help books. Some of these are there for if your child is having some behavioral issues. I would say Have a New Kid by Friday is a pretty good one. Smart but Scattered is another good one.
And do we have some of those Wild and Free or those kinds of books about homeschooling or about education? Do we have some?
I believe we have those over in our early education
Okay,
spot, which we could
perfect.
definitely
We'll
walk
check
her
that out in a
to.
minute. All right. So we're going to go back out of the eclectic room and leave the fiction area as we head into.
Oh, and here's our early education room.
Okay. So I see some things like the Who Was series and Horrible History. Like picture books about history and things, but also I see California Driver's Ed's practice tests. This looks like another somewhat eclectic room.
Oh yeah, this room has a bunch. If you're looking for things specifically for like your fifth grader, we also have some just general self-help college training for students who are seniors getting ready to enter into college. This one also has a bunch of great stuff for parents who need some extra books just to kind of get through homeschooling or just trying to try out different learning methods. We do have some of those books here.
Okay. And I see a whole bunch of first language lessons books, as well as Life of Fred. And then the Who Was series goes for days.
Oh, yes, this one's very popular.
What are these?
Oh, these are
Horrible Histories. Horrible Histories books. Textbooks for high schoolers, algebra 1, 2, chemistry, things like that. So there's plenty of options in there. And Mother Goose.
Oh yeah, this one has more kind of like government stuff as you kind of go down.
Oh, The Glass Castle. I just read that.
Oh, what'd you think?
It was really interesting. I mean, it's not a pleasant story. It's a very difficult story, but I enjoyed it. Okay, so here we see the Bookshark binders with all of the teacher guide stuff, the instructor's guides in them. But then I also, and I mean shelves and shelves of those big binders, but we also have quite a few IEW binders in here if you're wanting to do some IEW writing program. And then what are these?
Oh, these are the Oak Meadow course books.
Okay.
Yeah, so if this one's pretty popular with most of our families, it's really great for earlier grades, just to kind of get a good grasp on how to navigate through those. They come with little lesson plans, some fun things to do with your kiddo that are educational and kind of getting them to use their critical thinking skills. This one's more crafts for the early grades. So it's just like some really fun interactive things to get your child excited about learning.
More Magic School Bus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, not more. We didn't see that before. We saw Magic Treehouse. So there's a bunch of Magic School Bus. And even some not just the books, but some other things to go along with that. All right, so then we keep going down the hall past some of the Sequoia Grove offices, and we get to another room, just bookshelves for days. And all about reading? Yes, this is I got thrown off because there's all about spelling in the middle. So piles and piles shelf deep of all of the readers for All About Reading.
Oh yeah, so this is where the more of the all about learning readers boxed reading review boxes are kept. We do have the teacher's manuals there as well. I believe the only thing we do not have for rent with this current curriculum is the workbooks.
Okay.
Those ones would be considered consumable, so we do not have those. However, we do have the instructor guides, readers, and reading review boxes.
So another expensive curriculum that you could get from almost all of it from the library and save your funds for something else. So that's pretty exciting. So I'm going to walk right down the middle. And we see Matthew C. Shelves of Matthew C.
Oh, yes. So this is where all the instruction manuals live.
So again, you'd still have to buy the student book, but you could get the instruction manual and all of the manipulatives here.
Oh, yeah. I think the workbook would be the only thing you would need to purchase. However, the rest of the curriculum, we have it here available for families.
And another shelf full of the same looking things. This is Singapore Dimensions. Yes.
Matt.
Okay. And so lots of that as well. Math in Focus, there's quite a bit of. And Right Start and Primary Mathematics, the teacher's guides. Again, many multiples of those of each level. And we have the Beast Academy guidebooks. So the workbooks would have to still be purchased, but there's a lot of the guidebooks and some of the printed teaching textbooks, as well as lots of the common science books. Most of them I recognize as Bookshark science books, some Usborne Science encyclopedias. I don't know what that is. And over here we have dictionaries and thesauruses. Oh, Fix-It Grammar teacher manuals. That's good to know. Just buy the workbook and don't get the teacher manual.
Oh, yeah. And those are the growing with grammar. Then it starts going into, we have some foreign language over here. So if you're learning Spanish, I think we have books on Italian, Russian, Latin. We have maybe one or two on French. That one's growing currently.
So really big, fat Latin dictionary. Easy grammar. Several levels of easy grammar and spelling power, which I highly recommend. Spelling power. One book for all your kids. It's awesome. Okay, so and then some more IW. The theme-based writing is here, and literature resources.
Yeah, this section is more heavily focused on English writing and some more literature. So we do have a few more writing textbooks in here. Write on Course 2020. Some additional all about reading down there.
And some handwriting without tears. Really, the teacher's guide. So really, truly, just about anything you want to use. I'd recommend looking in the library for the teacher's guide. And sometimes it's easier to order things in a pack, but if not, you can potentially get the teacher's guides here, especially because some of them don't really need a teacher's guide, depending on what you're using. It's not that hard for mom to figure it out.
Oh, yeah. But if you do need a teacher's guide, we do have plenty and to spare. So.
Okay. And the last shelf over here, is this the last shelf of the library? All right. We made it to the end. I see animals everywhere.
Oh, yeah. So it kind of over here wraps up with math and goes right into biology, chemistry. Down there, we got some really fun astronomy. But over here, we got things on trees, animal ecosystems. The Animal Encyclopedia by National Geographic is pretty cool. Zoology.
I've heard of the Burgess book for birds, but this one is the Burgess Seashore book. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see. Usborne animal books and all kinds of sciencey stuff. Okay, and then like you said, wrapping up the math over here, we get to the Saxon section, which we hadn't seen yet.
Oh, yeah, this one's pretty massive. So if you're going from with Saxon math from your kindergartner all the way through to high school, we have it all right here.
Awesome. And any other sets over here? Oh, this is more teaching textbook stuff. Some eyewitness, those DK eyewitness books on various subjects keep kind of popping up throughout because they're in their different sections, but really helpful chemistry texts. So again, families, I hope you've gotten a feel for the kind of broad scope. And, I'll tell you about one book and skip 100 others, 200 others. But there really is so much here, and it's all here for one purpose, and that is for you, for your family to be able to borrow these and use them. So I really do hope that you will dig around on the website, which is super user-friendly, and find some things that you can help add to your homeschool this year. So, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about the procedure for getting set up with Destiny Discover, the name of the website, and then how do they go from I've opened this website to books are showing up on a van for me?
Oh, totally. Would you like me to walk you through Destiny Discover on the site?
Sure.
So right when you open up the interface for Destiny Discover, it will prompt you to do either Sequoia Grove South or Clarksville Resource Center. For online, please make sure to go ahead and choose Sequoia Grove South.
Even if you're enrolled in Clarksville, that is actually an internal website, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's more for our Clarksville Resource Center for them to catalog their books. And you'll definitely know you're on the wrong one if the color scheme is orange. Make sure your color scheme is green.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I interrupted you. So here you said there's these quick links over here, which for returning families, you'll notice is actually an update.
Oh, yeah. So over here, if you're new to us, we have a quick link to submit your Park Day survey. To make it super easy, you could just click on that, submit your new survey.
One less step. That's awesome.
And we also have a link directly to our homeschool helper, our mobile lending library calendar, if you want to double check on your upcoming park day. We're also going to have that calendar available for you to download and add to your Google Calendar. So then you could just pull out your phone, double check that calendar.
Your excuses for not using the library are dwindling.
Oh, no. We have our incredible How to Rent video series if ever you get lost, but you're also more than welcome to call our lending library team if ever you run into any questions. We have our shipping request form, library satisfaction. Let us know how we're doing. And if you have any suggestions on how we can get even better, feel free to fill out one of those forms and let us know.
And what did I want? Oh, so you just sort of skipped over the shipping request form. So if you don't have a park day near you, or it's on a day when you have something else going on and can't get to it, you can have your materials shipped.
Oh, yeah. Those will be just $15 pulled from your Vista funds. However, it will go up to 10 items. There are some rules and stipulations on the form. Once you're ready to fill yours out, make sure to double check. Look through all those. However, you can get shipments up to 10 items sent directly to your door.
That's awesome. Okay. You guys really have made this easy, and these are a lot of improvements over last year, and last year was pretty good. So
oh, thank you so much.
Okay, so once we're in the site, then
oh, yes. Over here, we have all of our collections directly underneath our library quick links and our library informational section. Here, you can just go ahead and click on anything that you're really wanting to have your student learn about. If you're looking for classic literature, maybe human anatomy, zoology.
I love that one says horses, exclamation point, and the next one, another one says cars, cars, cars. Or princesses, Legos. These are really some great collections. So when you click on these, it will take you to a large variety of things that are in the library that fit that category.
Oh, yeah. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to click on some Bernstein Bears. This one has been updated. I believe that was 2 years ago. So I know we do have some more items that may or may not be on here. However, what you can go ahead and do if you're not seeing anything in here is just to go into our search bar. Let's go ahead and search Bernstein Bears. And that will pull up everything Bernstein Bears that we have. Oh, and look at that. There's our collection.
So if a parent, there's some of those I can read books and things that are Bernstein Bears. So if somebody goes in there and types in Bookshark Level D, what are they going to get?
So if you type in Bookshark Level D, our search engine is more geared to major keywords.
Okay.
Some of those
Okay.
big binders. So this will be more of our Level D collections. Oh, and there's the Advanced Level D Bookshark Readers Kit.
Okay. But if you want to look for specific books within it, it's not going to pull up. It'll show you what's in those kits. But if you want to look at individual books, you might need to search those by title.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. With these ones, you'll go ahead and have to search by title if you want to rent them individually. However, if you did just want one of those kits that we were mentioning earlier, definitely typing in Bookshark and your level that you're looking for, it's going to pull those keywords and it's going to search our entire database, our entire database of like 30,000 items to find those materials that match.
So if you search like say math manipulatives, it'll give you the variety of things because you have a few different brands and things back there. Oh yeah. There's a large.
Yeah.
Okay. And some of them are labeled Bookshark, Right Start, Saxon. So that if you're looking for something specific, it shouldn't be too hard to find that. Can I type musical instruments and just see what you have?
Oh, totally. Let's go ahead and type in, I believe if you type in music, we did just change all of our instruments to include music within the call number.
There's a lot of music history things as well. Okay,
Yeah.
Here's a music stand. So we had to scroll a little because we got a lot of books and things first. But now we're looking at keyboards, a drum pad, some how-to books, some history books, Duke Ellington, a guitar.
Beatles.
Who were the Beatles?
Yeah, if you're curious as to our instruments, I would strongly recommend looking at the instrument you're looking for. Those ones will definitely yield some of the better results. If you're looking for something very specific, say you want to search our Saxon, you can go ahead and use that as the keyword. And we have some Saxon Mathematics K3 manipulative kit.
So let's say I want the manipulative kit. How do I then get it sent to me?
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like this one is out.
I need to choose something that's in. How about Saxon Geometry Solution Manual?
Oh, yeah. Since we're currently on my account, we don't get to see the helpful little option of the hold button.
Okay.
However, there will be a hold button that will pop up onto all of our family's accounts starting August 1st.
Starting August 1st. So I have done a little digging, and what I've done in the meantime from our family is that heart means I can find it fast later, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you're looking through and you see some things that maybe you want to go ahead and use for next year, I definitely recommend putting that into your favorites. You just have to click that little heart that's going to pop up on that pop-up window. And now it's been added to our favorites. So if we go into the My Stuff tab up here on the top banner, we're going to go down to favorites. And we're going to be able to see everything that we've ever saved ever.
And you told me another day that I don't have to have 4 different things going for each of my kids, right? Almost everything can be rented under one kid's account, so I don't have to be going back and forth between accounts to figure out what I've got going on.
Oh, yeah. So if you do have, say, more than one student and you just want to use one account, you're more than welcome to. There are a few stipulations. With that one student's account, you can only rent up to 25 items. So if you wanted more items for both students, it would be highly recommended to still have that other account. However, you don't have to make sure that the items that are specifically going to your one student are on that one student's account if you're sharing it with
age
another.
level stuff can be mixed. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think there's only one item and it's one microscope. It's
Okay.
a very fancy one and it will say for 7th grade and above. However, everything else, you are more than welcome to go ahead and rent on whichever account is more convenient for you.
So once the hold button is live on August 1st, you can put stuff in an account, you click that we want it, and then on this end, you guys will get that order and start putting it into an envelope or a box for us and get it sent to the first park day that comes after, based on where you've already filled out and told the system which park day you want to go to, correct?
Oh, correct. I would say please be sure to double check your emails. Every day at 4 p.m., there will be an automated email that will be generated for anything that was pulled for your student. If you don't see it in your inbox, please check your spam. We are projecting that we may be heavily impacted during those first 2 weeks. So
Maybe.
it's looking like a for sure at this point. But yeah, if you don't see your email, please be sure to wait. We may be backlogged a week or so. Once you do get that email though, it will mean that your items have been pulled, your order has been processed, and it will be available for pickup at your next park day.
And actually, as we're saying this episode is going to drop the first week of school. So those first 2 impacted weeks might be should be past, but that there's still plenty of time to get orders in and all of that.
Oh, absolutely. You won't be waiting too long for your items. It may take a little while. However, we will make sure that list is contained as much as possible.
And you guys are often pretty good at, if it's not a super impacted time, if somebody puts in an order in the morning and they have a park day the next day, they're likely, not guaranteed, but likely to get that order. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. Usually, aside from our more impacted season in August, if you are renting something, we do recommend to put your order in at least 24 hours prior to your park day. We do go out to some pretty far locations, so our driver may need to leave first thing in the morning, which could mean that we didn't get time to process your order. If that's the case, we won't be able to have that item on that park day run. However, it will be added on to the next one.
And some listeners may not realize that in addition to a few sort of greater Sacramento area park days, the library van does go down to Amador, out to Tahoe, up to Chico, and all the way over. Do you have 2 or 3 out in sort of Mendocino? So there are 2 areas over on the coast that are pretty far out. It's a pretty good drive for the driver.
Oh, yeah. We have this one is our Todd Grove location. That'll be for Ukiah. We do have one for our Kelseyville families. We will be adding on a couple of new park days this year. Please be sure to double check your mobile lending library survey. We did add one in Roseville. So pretty exciting stuff. If that one's closer to you than the Johnson Springview one was, please be sure to fill out a new Park Days survey, and we'll go ahead and make sure to update your account. Aside from that, we have one in Lincoln now. Anything that has been updated, I'm currently on the Homeschool Helper page under our Mobile Park Days tab, and I'm scrolling down here to a mobile lending library schedule. And there we can see anything that has been updated or changed this year. I have put in bold, and I will make sure to send an email out to all of our families. I believe at the time of recording this, that'll be next week, just to let you know of any new changes.
So end of July, current families should have heard about what the changes in the mobile lending library schedule and locations are.
Oh, yeah. And I'll make sure to still post it onto our Facebook pages, Instagram pages. So, but if ever you have any questions or if you run into any issues with your park day, please feel free to reach out to us at sglendinglibrary@sequoiagrove.org, and we'd be able to help you out.
Chris, thank you so much for this mounds of information and for this really fun tour. And families, this really is a spectacular resource that is available to you. So stop putting off figuring out how to log into Destiny Discover, bookmark that site to make it nice and easy. And I think you really will be glad that you did, because it's pretty easy and a whole lot of good stuff comes right to you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This was a lot of fun.
I hope that this tour of our library has been immensely helpful for you and that you've gotten a visual picture and a better idea of what is there and the resources that are available for you. Please be sure to check the show notes for lots of links for the setting up which park day you want to pick things up at, finding the link to Destiny Discover if you have never gotten logged on to that. And there will also be some pictures available. If you want to try and put a few actual images to the things that we talked about, you can check out the pictures that are there as well and browse a little bit that way. So we have a new thing, listeners. There is a button that you can click to talk to me on each of the school websites. So, for example, you can go to clarksvillecharter.org and then look for the podcast page, and you will find a little button right there. And on that, you can tell me, what did you love about this episode? What kind of topics do you wish that we would cover in the future? Do you have a question for me? At the very least, I can hear you and answer your question perhaps on a future episode, but I might even be able to use your recording of that little voicemail and include you on a future episode. So I would really love to hear from you. Or from your kids. If your kids want to say something about the Sequoia Breeze podcast, I'd love to hear from them. So please go to your school's website, featherrivercharter.org or lakeviewcharter.org, and find the podcast page and send us a message. I would love that. Once again, listeners, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Tour of the Library, and I hope that it has been a breath of fresh air for your homeschool. This is the Sequoia Breeze podcast. Signing off is your host, Rebecca Lasavio.